when voluntary disclosure is actually required, because it is not applicable for every cases or every tax return. So I have seen cases where uh, voluntary disclosures are being submitted even though that was not actually required, and resulting into huge penalties. And many times we get inquiries similar to that, maybe because of advices received from different, or maybe own interpretations. But the problem is, once huge penalties and etc. are resulted, uh, it would be very difficult to waive off it, and because even for reconsideration, it's time-taking process, etc. So it is always best to be aware about the right practice, right procedure, then do it, so that we will not end up in any kind of non-compliances. At the same time, any kind of penalties or fines. So this is our objective of the discussion today. With this, we will move on to the discussion, and Sachin is here. He is also the expert in tax. So we will try to give you an overall picture about it.
Aptly said by Ajal, it's very significant. So this voluntary disclosure procedures is not a new topic. There has been a guide which has been issued by the authority back in July 2018. But why we take up this session, especially on VDF, was because we received a lot of queries. And when we go for verification or when a new assignment comes, we'll see a lot of registrants. They choose to file VDF without knowing the consequences. So the form, voluntary disclosure form, has to be used only in very specific circumstances. Not all the errors which you have made might not require a submission of voluntary disclosure. So it is imperative to understand what voluntary disclosure form is, when it can be used, when it should be mandatorily used, and there are penalties associated with filing a voluntary disclosure. So without knowing this, if you are going to file a voluntary disclosure, maybe at times when even it's not even required to file a voluntary disclosure, and there will be a penalty because, as you know, the FTA's penalty system is governed majorly by a system. So whenever you enter something, the system automatically computes penalty which are associated with the action you have done, and it accumulates in your my payments portion. So it is we cannot emphasize on the importance of understanding what a voluntary disclosure is and when it has to be submitted. So as you can see from the screen, voluntary disclosure is a form 211, which needs to be submitted by the taxpayer to notify the authority of an error or omission in the tax return. So this is a very generic definition, I would say. Further, when we go into this, we will know there are situations where you can rectify an error without filing a voluntary disclosure, or there are some errors which need not require the submission of voluntary disclosure, and so on. So let's see when a voluntary disclosure needs to be submitted. So the time limit when you have to file a voluntary disclosure. So generally we can bifurcate this into two. We'll see in the coming slides, but in a general description, we have to file a voluntary disclosure if we noticed in error in a tax period, which where you have already submitted the tax return, but while reviewing, if noticed any error, and within 20 business days of noticing such error, you shall file a voluntary disclosure. So again, this also has some exemptions that we can see in the coming slides, but this is the general idea which you should keep in mind, that from identification of an error or an omission in your tax return within 20 business days, you shall be liable to file a voluntary disclosure form. So when you have to file a voluntary disclosure form. So if there is an error in the tax return which you have filed, which results in a calculation of payable tax of more than 10,000. So in a tax return which you have filed for, assume the tax payable was 100,000 and you've already paid that. But when you go back and review the tax period and you found that you missed out to account a few high value invoices for which the tax portion alone comes around 25,000, for example. So in that scenario where you have you are liable to pay a tax of 25,000 to the authority than the actual tax which you've already filed, you will have to file a voluntary disclosure. So next scenario, if such omission is not for an amount of 10,000. Only the amount was less than 10,000. So you might not require to file a voluntary disclosure if you yourself notice the error. In that scenario, you have an option. If you have a tax return coming up in the next tax period, you can adjust this amount in the subsequent tax period. So in our practical experience, what we see is when a compliance check is happening and the taxable person identifies a mismatch, it might be very few amounts, like let's say 2,000 dirhams, which can easily be adjusted in the subsequent return. But without knowing the regulation, without knowing the nuances in the regulation, uh, whenever they identify an error, they go ahead and file voluntary disclosure. So voluntary disclosure, again, it has a lot of penalties attached to it. So only if your tax payable is more than 10,000, you shall access the form and file a voluntary disclosure. If it is less than 10,000 dirhams, the tax payable is less than 10,000 dirhams in a tax period. In that case, you can adjust this amount, the tax payable, in the subsequent return if you have a subsequent return coming up.
Yeah, so some of the main points which we should have in mind when we think about voluntary disclosure is, first of all, it may not be always voluntary. So it would be, what I mean is, sometimes it's we are identifying there is an error in the VAT return submitted. For instance, you submitted for you might be clubbing 5 reports from maybe from different location and submitting your VAT return, and we know practically when the accounts team is doing this, maybe towards the end there might be a lot of hurry and coordination issues, etc. And sometimes some maybe a page of the report may get omitted, or maybe one report itself may not be included. Such kind of errors are happening in some cases. So this can result into an error in the VAT return. So immediately you may identify, or maybe later stage also you may identify that there was an error. So this is the error you are identifying on the tax return. And this can be even due to various other reasons, like wrongly charging VAT. So maybe on a transaction you have charged VAT, which later stage your customer notifies you, or might be some consultants or some training program when you attend you identify, or maybe some public clarification issued by the authority, based on that you identify. So various uh, ways you may be getting notified about the errors. This is on the returns which you have filed, or it can be also through the assessment which is done by the authority. Assessment done by the authority can begin from VAT refund application, which is the most common way of assessment, and the compliance assessments which I mentioned, and which can also be the tax audits which is happening nowadays. So all all these ways authority can inform you if there is a difference in opinion or errors, etc. Then you can go for a voluntary disclosure. And when we come to the penalty stage, we can understand that based on different levels or different time frame when you react for the voluntary disclosure, penalties also varies accordingly. That we can discuss in detail. So the main thing is these are the various occasions when you go for a voluntary disclosure, and time frame should be always kept in your mind. It is 20 business days from being aware of the error. So, for example, if it is notified by your customer, then this notification from your customer would be the date of identifying the error. Or maybe it would be a compliance audit or a pre-tax audit. For example, if Emirates Chartered Accountants is doing a pre-tax audit for you, and we give you a report or notifies you these are the errors happened in your previous time, then that is the point from which you have to rectify it. So 20 business days from the maybe a report date from Emirates Chartered Accountants. Like that you can consider. So this is one important area, 20 business days. And as Sachin already discussed, 10,000 we are talking about. We are talking about the tax impact. We are not talking about the taxable amount. We are talking about the tax amount, VAT amount. So if it is more than 10,000 in a respective tax period on a particular quarter or monthly accordingly. And if not, as Sachin already discussed, we can do the correction in the subsequent return or like the immediate available return if the amount is less than 10,000. So that is one like situation where voluntary disclosure is not required. So that is the summary of and which are the key points which we have to remind on voluntary disclosure.
So again, just to summarize, wherever the tax payable is more than 10,000, you will have to file a voluntary disclosure. And wherever the tax payable, the amount is less than 10,000, the tax amount is less than 10,000, the error or the omission which you identified in your pre-tax audit, or when the authority sends you. So why we are differentiating is because the penalty associated with each of the scenarios is different. So when you have identified or the authority have identified it on your behalf, you will have to file a voluntary disclosure if the tax payable is more than 10,000 dirhams. So please don't go ahead and file voluntary disclosure just because there is an error. You have to quantify the amount which is involved, and only if the tax payable is more than 10,000, you have to go for voluntary disclosure. If it is not, if it's less than 10,000 tax payable, you can adjust in the subsequent return if there is one coming up, or again, you'll have to file a voluntary disclosure. So let's say, for example, a company which has been deregistered already, but the authority have taken up, the authority have the power to take up compliance review for even for deregistered clients. And if they have identified any, as Ajul was explaining, there was an error in identifying the taxability of a transaction, which accumulates to a huge amount, then the authority will request such taxable persons or deregistered persons to file a voluntary disclosure to rectify the error happen. So that can also happen. So this is what the summary of what we had discussed. Wherever the error has an impact of more than 10,000 dirhams in tax payable, you should make a voluntary disclosure to the FTA within 20 business days. Or if it's less than 10,000 dirhams, you can adjust it in the subsequent return if there is a return coming up, or you should make a voluntary disclosure within 20 business days. So if it's more than 10,000, within 20 business days of such notification, you have to file a voluntary disclosure. If it's less than 10,000, you can adjust in the subsequent return if there is one, or again, you'll have to file a voluntary disclosure. Now, so far,
Yes.
Yeah.
Sachin, just to emphasize this lesson 10,000, I just want to add one very small example. Assume that we are having a tax period quarterly, January, February, March, like same like calendar year, and assume that in December 2020 we had forgot to charge VAT on a supply. So assume the supply value is only 10,000 dirham. The supply value is 10,000 dirham. So we forgot to charge VAT 5% on it. 500 we didn't charge on it. So this belongs to the tax period of October, November, December. And subsequently now in February or in March, you identified or you came to know that you had a mistake there, you didn't charge VAT. So in this case, it is not necessary that you have to go back to the tax period October, November, December and do a voluntary disclosure because the tax value is only 500. Instead, you can make the correction in the subsequent return, which is for the period of January, February, March, which you are going to file, right? So you can include it in that return. So the return which is falling like from the date you are identifying the error. So you can do it in that. And why I'm telling is this because I have seen many cases where even though there is no requirement to do voluntary disclosure, taxpayer end up in paying doing voluntary disclosure wrongly, which is bringing in additional penalty because doing voluntary disclosure there is fixed penalty and percentage penalty, which we will discuss in the coming slides as well.
Very true. So there are scenarios where there is an understanding that voluntary disclosure is to be used if and when we identify an error. But as we discussed now, there is a key concept behind it. There is a certain limit of amount, and over and beyond that, only requires a submission of voluntary disclosure. Which less than that, it's not a requirement. So please keep that in mind when you have a disclosure to be done now. Now, moving further, so we discussed the points about where tax payable is involved, that you have to, when you reviewed your tax period and you identified that there is a tax payable, there is a requirement from your side to pay further tax to the authority. You missed to account or you have not paid the tax to the authority, which you were originally supposed to pay. So in that case, we define it correctly. More than 10,000, go for VDF. Less than 10,000, you can adjust in the subsequent return. So what about the cases where a tax refund is involved? So let's assume a business of a school, for example, they will, if they are providing zero-rated services, they will be continuously reclaiming the amount which they have paid as tax from the authority. So once they submitted the refund application and then they noted that there was an error which resulted in claiming higher tax refund from the authority. So for example, the actual amount of refund claimed was 12,000, whereas while reviewing it was found that 2,000 of the tax which we applied for refund is in fact non-recoverable, maybe an entertainment expense or something. So that difference, even though it is 2,000 or less than 10,000, doesn't matter. You have to go for voluntary disclosure. So for in case of additional refund, which you have already claimed, and to rectify that, it doesn't matter. The amount of refund doesn't matter. You have to submit voluntary disclosure if the amount which you have submitted is incorrect.
Correct. And here we are talking about refund, which was excessively claimed. So as Sachin already mentioned, so maybe instead of 5,000, we have claimed 6,000 or 10,000 like that. But what about the opposite scenario that you are eligible to claim 10,000 refund, but you claimed only 9,000? You forgot or you missed to include some of the inputs or some of the claims. In such scenario, what would be the treatment, or whether we have to go for an immediate voluntary disclosure, or how it has to be corrected? Sachin, can you discuss on that?
Yeah. So in cases where there is a tax refund which you have already claimed, where the amount is, even if it's less than 10,000, if you have to go further to claim the other way around, as I was explaining, if there was further refund which has to be claimed from the authority, even if that's a 1 dirham, you have to go for filing a voluntary disclosure. So any additional refund which you have to claim from the authority requires warrants the submission of a voluntary disclosure, irrespective of the amount. So that we can bifurcate the whole voluntary disclosure scenario into two, where one is the tax payable. If there's a tax payable involved from the taxable person to the authority, then there's a limit of 10,000. But where in cases where there is an additional refund that needs to be claimed from the authority, there is no limit of claim which is involved. Even if the value involved is 100 dirham, for example, it warrants a submission of voluntary disclosure. So if you are a person who are regularly claiming refund, you have to keep in mind, you have to take an extra care in the actual value which you are submitting for refund, because once if it's an error which is incurred, then you will have to definitely go for a voluntary disclosure filing, which again warrants penalties and associated, all compliance regulatory issues. So now,
Just moving before that, just moving that. We know that there are questions or queries, Q&As, which viewers would be having. You can definitely comment on in whichever page, Facebook or LinkedIn, which you are following. We will definitely come to that towards the end in the Q&A session. We will address you. And why we are not addressing at this moment is we will be covering most of the topics which or most of the queries you are having. So once we complete our session, if still we have not addressed your queries, we will be taking those questions towards the end in the Q&A. Thank you.
so the important part, why we are saying that this voluntary disclosure procedure is significant is because of the penalties associated with that. So voluntary disclosure penalties are a huge chunk of the compliance issues of compliance penalties of UAVAT. The penalties can be divided into two. There is a fixed penalty. Every time you access the voluntary disclosure form in your tax portal, there is a penalty, fixed penalty. It is 3,000 for the first time and 5,000 for all subsequent times. So the moment you submit a voluntary disclosure, this will be charged to your tax portal, unless if it is directed by the authority. If they are asking you, that case we will discuss in the coming slides. But in those cases where the authority mandates you to file a voluntary disclosure, where due to some specific reasons, they might not charge the penalty. But otherwise, if you are accessing the form, there's this fixed penalty of 3,000 for the first time and 5,000 for all subsequent times. Further, there is a percentage-based penalties. So the percentage-based penalties is what we discussed earlier, is based on how we are accessing the voluntary disclosure form. If you yourself are identifying the error while doing a pre-tax audit or while doing a review of the tax return previously filed, and you came to know by yourself that there is an error which has happened, which requires correction, in that case, it is 5% of the tax which you have unpaid in that tax period. So it will be 5% of the unpaid tax amount of each respective tax period if you yourself are disclosing the error to the authority, and 30% of the unpaid tax amount if the authority is sending you a request to being notified about the error. The authority during its verification come to identify the error, and they are notifying you to file a voluntary disclosure. It will be 30% of the unpaid tax amount. And the last one, if you are notified by the authority about the tax audit, and they have already conducted the tax audit, and during the course of tax audit, they identified that there was an error in the tax returns which you have filed, which needs additional payment of tax, then there will be a percentage penalty of 50% on the unpaid tax amount. So this varies, as I was saying, this varies according to the situation. So the least amount is 5% when you yourself identifies and rectifies the error. The penalty will be 5% of the unpaid tax amount. So that is where it becomes significant for you to conduct a pre-tax audit or a review of a compliance review of the return which you have filed, so that you can identify the error by yourself, and you can identify the tax points in the business and the tax treatments attached to it. And if there is any gap between the law and the actual procedures, you can rectify it by filing a voluntary disclosure, which will reduce the percentage-based penalty to 5%. Whereas if the authority is notifying you about a tax audit, and once you receive the notification and then you verified and found out the error, and you chose to go for VDF, voluntary disclosure filing, the 30% penalty will be applied on the unpaid tax amount. But the last scenario, where the authority themselves identify the error during the course of an audit, the penalty is 50% on the unpaid tax amount. So there is a fixed penalty clause and a percentage penalty clause attached to filing of voluntary disclosure.
Yes, and one normal confusion some of the tax persons are raised to us, or like the queries raised was, we may not see these things in the VAT law. This is commonly raised one query. Where it is there, it is not in there in the VAT law, or how you are stating these penalties. So it is important to understand this is not there in the UA VAT law, which we are talking, which is the law number 8 of 2017, or the executive regulation, because this is part of the federal tax procedures. Federal tax procedures, in which is the cabinet. There are cabinet decisions and the decree law, which is the basis, the decree law 7, and 39, 40, etc. Cabinet decisions are there, in which this is being explained very well. So this
all
is not
the penalties
maybe on the
associated with it.
Yes. Yeah, all the procedures side is explained there, including how Federal Tax Authority is conducting audits, and what are the various other procedures. This is mentioned under federal tax procedures and not in the main UA VAT law and executive regulation.
And there is another question which was raised. It's very interesting and which generally happens. What if we file the voluntary disclosure on the same day when we file a tax return? So unfortunately, voluntary disclosure is still considered as an rectification of error, which warrants the penalty. So it doesn't matter if you are submitting it subsequent to filing a return or on the same day of filing return. Once you file the return, there is no option to edit what you have filed. So the only other option which you have is to file a voluntary disclosure, which, as I was saying, the system will compute the penalty. So there is no manual involvement in the whole procedure. So once you access the VDF, irrespective of the date in which you are doing it, it will warrant a payment of penalty. So maybe the percentage-based penalty could be different, we cannot say, or the non-filing penalty can be changed. All that might have an impact, but the penalties will definitely be levied even if you are submitting on the same day.
Yes, practically when someone had access to voluntary disclosure, definitely this fixed penalty and percentage-based penalty will attract. And also, as Sachin already mentioned, the penalty for late settlement of tax, which which is percentage-wise, which is based on the period of difference, it will increase as well. So what is happening? Practically, you just assume a case where you have filed you have filed your VAT return, for example, on 20th of a month, and you realize there is an error on the same day, on 20th itself, you filed a voluntary disclosure also. Here, for example, if there was a tax payable amount, so there is 10,000 to be payable as per the voluntary disclosure you have submitted. Then the normal procedure is this application, the voluntary disclosure which you have filed, will be reviewed by the Federal Tax Authority. Then only it will get approved. Accordingly, this liability will get reflected in the FTA portal, right? So today now I am doing, I have like maybe I have paid 100,000 VAT as per my initial VAT return, which I have already paid, or it is reflected in the payable and we paid. Then this 10,000 is error which we identified and we do a voluntary disclosure. So there is an excess amount of 10,000. But in the FTA portal, it will not get reflected immediately because only once this gets approved, it will get reflected. So you may not make a payment also. So what happened is if this voluntary disclosure which you submitted is reviewed and approved, so maybe in the month of February you might have submitted, maybe it is getting approved in towards the end of March or maybe even in April. So there is a time gap happening between the voluntary disclosure filing to approval, which can be maybe even 2 months time in some cases. Then there would be late payment penalty attracted at that point of time. So what we request or recommend is, whenever you are sure about there is an additional amount to be paid to the authority, the moment you submit your voluntary disclosure, you pay that amount, so that the once it is getting accepted, it will get set up with the liability and additional penalty will not be charged. And if there are some interest and other penalties are charged, we can go ahead with a reconsideration form where it is successful. In most of the cases, Federal Tax Authority have waived off the penalty considering the cases. So even though the decision is finally by the Federal Tax Authority, but on practical, we have seen that Federal Tax Authority understand this case and accept our reconsideration form and waive off the penalty. So if that is the case, immediately make the payment for the tax amount. And if there is penalties charged, you can definitely proceed for a reconsideration with the Federal Tax Authority.
True. That's very true, because we had, in our practical experience, we had scenarios where there was penalties which were levied due to a system miscalculation, for which we successfully had submitted reconsideration and got it waived off. So that is an option which authority extends to the taxpayers, which you can utilize. But ensure, what you have to ensure is that the tax treatments which you have done for all the transactions in the business is accurate, and you have paid off all your dues in the correct time. So now, again, this is the summary of what has happened in the penalty area. The two penalties, one is the fixed one and the flexible one. Here, 50% of the unpaid amount when the error resulting in a tax benefit for the person. So the authority will levy this penalty if they are conducting a tax audit and identify this error in the whole scenario. The 50% of unpaid tax amount will be charged as penalty further to the additional penalties of non-payment or non-filing, which may come to the business. But this is straight related to voluntary disclosure filing, fixed and flexible penalties. So I hope that's clear. So you have to ensure that there is a requirement for you to file a voluntary disclosure form, the first case. Wherever you can adjust in the subsequent return, please use that. You don't have to go for filing a voluntary disclosure. And if you're going, ensure that understand there are penalties associated with filing a voluntary disclosure, and you have to ensure that there is a requirement for you to submit voluntary disclosure. Now, the special considerations. So far, what we have discussed is the general provisions concerning voluntary disclosure forms. When you have to submit it, what is the time period? What are the penalties associated with? But there are some special considerations which is required in relation to voluntary disclosure form, which again is directly related to very small provisions regarding the law, which many of us tend to miss. Multiple readings of the law is required to understand the very minute changes in the law, which warrants voluntary disclosure, or if not, and all that scenario. So where a registrant fails to claim input tax as per Article 55. So Article 55 notes down the scenario or the time period where you can claim back the input tax which you have paid. So Article 55 of Federal Tax, the law number 8 discusses that you can claim back the input tax on the tax period which you have received the invoice and in one subsequent tax period. So there is an option for you to claim the tax in one subsequent tax period. So assume if you have missed to claim back the tax which you have paid to a supplier in the tax period which you got the tax invoice from the supplier, you don't have to immediately go for filing a VDF. You can still avail the input tax claim in one subsequent tax period. So if you fail to claim it in a tax period which you receive the tax invoice, you miss to account it for some reason, please don't go for filing a VDF, because as per Article 55, you still have one more tax period in which you can claim the input tax irrespective of the amount involved. So whatever amount you miss to account, you can still adjust in one subsequent tax return. So it is very significant. In the tax period which you receive the tax invoice and one subsequent tax period, you can claim the input tax. Only after that tax period, the subsequent tax period, in that also we fail to avail the credit, then you will have to file voluntary disclosure because we are claiming back from the authority. So the next one, all the errors in a tax period shall be considered cumulatively. So what we generally see is when we identify errors, we generally consider the sales part, assume, and there was an error of 8,000, right? And we may think that since the value is less than 10,000, we can adjust it in the subsequent tax return. But one thing which we want to put across is that you have to ensure all the aspects of the return has been complied and there are no changes in the figures which you have already filed. So in the same example, assume there was an error in the sales portion which results in a tax payable of 8,000. Further, there is a non-recoverable input tax which we have claimed, which amounts up to 4,000. So you have to consider it cumulatively. So cumulatively, the tax payable comes to 12,000, which warrants the submission of a voluntary disclosure form. So it is very significant that when you analyze a tax period, you have to analyze all the components involved in the tax return. It could even mean import of service. Assume a scenario where there is an import of service has been made, and which you fail to account. And you identify this after like 4 tax periods, assume a scenario. So you still have to see whether you are in compliance with Article 55, that is the time period for claiming back the input tax. So if it's not, then you fail to claim back the input tax which you've paid. So what I mean is, when you consider filing a voluntary disclosure, when you quantify the amount which requires voluntary disclosure, you have to ensure that all the aspects of the return are considered and the cumulative tax amount is considered to identify whether a VDF is required or not. So
Okay.
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, cases. So next is like the cases where the error is less than 10,000, but cumulatively more, which is same like which Sachin had already discussed. So if multiple errors you have in a tax period, which is less than 10,000, but cumulatively. So it is important to see whenever you go for a voluntary disclosure, it is always advisable that you make a thorough check to understand if there is any other error. So, for example, FTA might be highlighting that you have claimed an entertainment expense, which you have to remove it. FTA might be doing a very sample check in which they may not have reviewed all your expenses. So, there would be some other expenses which is missed out from their review, but still you are aware of. So, do a voluntary disclosure considering all those together and cumulatively if it is about 10,000. Why it is important? Because each time you do voluntary disclosure, you have the penalties associated to that. So if it is on a refund case, and so we here we are, if it is on a refund or input adjustment and all, even if it is a smaller amount repeatedly, if we are doing, but still if we are getting this fixed penalty 3,000, which will be subsequently 5,000 all time, so it is not wise to do voluntary disclosure for a same return, same tax period again and again whenever you identify each and every error. So it is important that whenever you go for a voluntary disclosure, see you had properly reviewed the tax period and assessed all the errors in that, and you do it at once so that all the mistakes will be rectified and the penalty can be reduced also in that way.
So this,
So
in fact,
next,
the most common thing which we see, even if taxable persons consider it, cumulatively, and they will go ahead and file voluntary disclosure for each tax period. But that's not required. Only if the tax period has a difference of 10,000, then only it warrants a submission of voluntary disclosure. Now, yeah, the prior period input tax claims shall be claimed in the first tax period. So see, these are very minute changes in the law. In the first point, if you see, as per Article 55, you can claim back the input tax in tax period which you have received the invoice and one subsequent tax period. But if it is related to prior period input tax, that is those expenses which you incurred by paying tax before you obtain a registration. So as per a provision in the law, the prior period input tax claims can be claimed in the first tax return. In the first tax period, you have to ensure that all the claims which you have, all the taxes you have paid before obtaining registration has been claimed. So if not, there is no provision in the law which suggests that you can claim it in one subsequent tax period. So see, these are the minute differences in the law where you have to identify. For all other expenses, you still have one more tax period where you can claim back the expenses which you have incurred. But for those expenses pertaining to prior registration period is concerned, you have to claim back in the first tax period. So if you have failed to claim it back, you will have to go for filing a voluntary disclosure. So see, this is where it becomes important to understand the entire regulation, because if we tend to miss, if we are going ahead and claiming it in one subsequent tax period, that is in violation of the law. You are at a compliance default. So we have to avoid all these scenarios. So you have to understand the law wherever it's applicable. You have to understand how it affects your business, and how a prior period audit will help. So all this is very significant. So prior period expenses, if you have failed to claim it in the first tax period, you have to file voluntary disclosure. There is no option for you to claim it in the subsequent tax period.
And RCM, import of services. So as we know, like all import has to be recorded in the VAT return, and for goods normally it gets auto-populated. And what happened for services, we have to do it voluntarily, and sometimes there can be an error. You have missed out those things. So there is a general assumption always taken that RCM, if there is a import of service, and or if there is anything to be recorded under reverse charge mechanism, always there is an assumption that uh, for every RCM we can make an adjustment in the box number uh, 10 as a revising, like no, for the adjustment, not the adjustment, the recovering of input for the import which are under reverse charge mechanism. So uh, one provision which we have to look into very clearly is input recovery related to reverse charge mechanism is allowed only to the extent it is allowed as per the other provisions. So if you are eligible to recover as per the other provisions, other normal input recovery provision, then you can claim. So for example, you are importing some goods which is for an exempt supply, you will not be able to recover. Why? Because you are not eligible as per the normal recovery provision. Same way, if an import of goods or service is there for which if you have to recover the input, then you have to also qualify, or you have to also comply with the time frame for input recovery as well, because frame for input recovery states that within the in the same tax period or in the subsequent tax period of the incurring of the expense and received, etc. So this time frame also has to be looked at. So for example, you forgot to uh, show one import of services, for example, in August 2020. Whether you can show it now in the VAT return and claim it directly, the answer would be no, because the time frame for claiming it is already passed. So in that scenario, you may have to do a voluntary disclosure in order to get that benefit.
Yeah. So now, the cases where there is no tax impact. So again, this is something which we generally see. Uh, all through our discussion, we explained those scenarios where a voluntary disclosure is required. Every time there was a tax portion which was involved. So where there is no tax portion is involved in the whole scenario, there is no requirement to file voluntary disclosure. But this is something which almost, I would say, like 40% of the taxable person tend to miss. There are cases, for example, export. There has been an export of good which we fail to account and fail to report. There is no requirement for you to file voluntary disclosure unless the authority requests you to do that. While claiming refund, maybe the authority will request you to do it. Maybe it is not mandatory. If the authority feels that it should be disclosed under voluntary disclosure, then you might have to file a voluntary disclosure. But as on your own, you don't have any responsibility to file voluntary disclosure if there is no tax impact. So what you have to ascertain is that whether a tax portion or tax impact is there in the transaction. If so, what is the quantum of the amount involved? And if it is less than 10,000 for payable, you don't have to. If it's more than, it's required. But the general rule is that if you don't have any tax impact in the transaction, there is no payable or receivable tax involved, you don't have to file voluntary disclosure. So the next immediate question will be, how will we rectify these then? So what our general suggestion is that the moment you identify an error in your zero rated supply, for example, adjust it in your subsequent tax return. So there might be a huge amount, the authority might question you back why there was a sudden increase in your export, related to that. But even then, you have a valid reason why there was a sudden increase in the export of service and all that. But what you have to keep in mind is that unless there is a tax portion involved, you don't have any responsibility to file a voluntary disclosure. So,
okay, that was very well explained. And I think there are some questions also which was raised. One was related to the value as per the invoice and the value as per customs valuation. So if there is a difference, how it has to be adjusted, etc. So normally regarding to import of goods, so here the value of customs is involved. So I understand it's the import of goods. So for import of goods, the value which is or the exchange rates and etc which is used by the customs authority can be considered for reverse charge mechanism. And in that case, there will not be needed for any kind of adjustment. But if you are undervaluing the goods, then it would be a question like, for example, 100,000 value is the goods, but in the customs you are declaring for 70,000. So that is your responsibility. But what I'm trying to tell is, for example, the goods value is 100,000 USD and customs is using different exchange rates. And because of that, and for your VAT, you might be accounting under 3.6752, then there would be difference. So such differences, you need not consider. The value which is given by the customs authority can be accounted under reverse charge mechanism. So, but if it is difference in providing the value, then you have to see it. And in some cases, some products have fixed values as per the customs authority also. So even in those cases, the values given by the customs authority can be considered, and accordingly, reverse charge mechanism can be accounted. And there is another question from Harish Kannan. If I forget to fill the column number 10 for importing amount and amount is less than 10,000, do we need to file a voluntary disclosure? So I think this is he have forgot to claim the input. Yeah, maybe goods might have imported, so he have paid that VAT. He have not claimed it. So there is a mistake happened from in claiming. In this scenario, practically the best approach I would say is to file voluntary disclosure even though the amount is less than 10,000. Rather than adjusting in the subsequent return. Why? Because if you are going and adjusting in the subsequent return, automatically there would be a field differences which is showing up that your values of column number 6 and 10 is not matching. There is differences, etc. And immediately FTA would be raising queries on that. And practically we have seen that officers may request you to do voluntary disclosure and correct it. Which will result you have to go back in and do. So better in that case to do the same directly. Since there is a difference which is highlighted also, FTA would suggest that in that manner. Even though it was not mandatorily required as per the provisions which we have discussed, but on a practical approach, I would say to do it.
And where the time limit of claiming the input taxes lapsed, then you definitely have to go for the filing of voluntary disclosure. So
yes.
I think that.
And
yeah.
Yeah, so we have come to an end of our discussion. So if there is any other Q&A, please let us know.
Yes, all the Q&As are finished in the in LinkedIn as well on Facebook. If there's any queries, please feel free to write to secretary@emirates.ca.com. Thank you. That was one hell of an insightful session, a long one. Thank you very much, subject experts, and thank you everyone who had joined us. Wish you a very, very good Good morning and have a great Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you all
Bye.
for joining. Have a good day.